Well, I was taking a look at a few videos on Facebook, and I was thinking a few things about Facebook, how it kind of makes a cell warrior out of you. You know, a Facebook warrior, cell warrior, somebody you really, it's kind of a chicken shit way to go. But hey, look, here's what I say. Look, you know what? I don't care where you get your start to get courage, to build up courage. I think media outlets are a great way to gain confidence in your ideas and what you think about whatever, because you have the ability, in many cases, there's a dialogue that goes back and forth in comment sections and whatever, and you get to put your belief system to work. What you believe to be right, and you get to build confidence on that as you go along without being supported by other people, but you develop your own confidence within your own ideas. I tell you, not a lot of people got that, okay? Most of them are fucking followers. They follow somebody else because they go, oh, that fucking guy's got an idea what's going on. Let's fucking follow him. We don't know shit. That's exactly what happens, okay? So, and you can see it in society. Look at how fucking warped in 2017 our culture is. You've got the Pentagon telling soldiers in the armed services to grab their same-sex lover and go to parties and shit and represent the military. Let me tell you what I think about that. Fuck this military, fuck its leadership, and fuck this country if that's the kind of shit you're gonna co-sign. And fuck you, okay? There ain't nothing remotely, I don't know, decent and godly about that, especially when you have on the money, printed on the money, "In God we trust." I don't know what God you fucking believe in, but I don't believe in one that created that fucking distortion, that that distortive of a reality for people to accept. You're out of your fucking tree, people. And fuck you, the people, if you co-sign that. And that means the leadership, political leadership, governors. I don't give a fuck. Any part of government. And sadly today, government is so intrusive, it's in on every part of your life. You fucking bump into it at every corner of your day. It's not this obscure entity that exists way outside your peripheral. That's not the same thing, okay? That was the settlers, okay? That was 150 years ago. Now they're right up your ass on everything, okay? It doesn't matter what it is. Driving down the road, they're fucking stalking you, okay? When they have no right to stalk you legitimately. They've even gone so far as to twist and use the color of law to get you to believe that your right to travel is regulated by the government. That's total fucking bullshit, okay? You can go wherever the fuck you want within the continental United States and its subsidiaries, and you can go at will at any time, any way you want. And there ain't a fucking thing they can say about it. And the manner of conveyance is lawfully irrelevant. And that's what most people don't know, because most people have been conditioned to believe that the reality that's being fed to them on the nightly news, along with the little blue fucking fog there, is reality. And that's not reality. It's their interpretation of a reality for you that makes you a slave. Conditions you to accept ideas and mentors and role plays behavior for you to model. So you'll easily contort to their will and their desire and not your own. And never develop your own independent critical thinking about anything. You'll never do that. You'll never get to that place. And that's their objective. And when you begin to see things like Freemasonry and Illuminatiism, see, and when I say that, it's such a creepy fucking thing to say. It's like, man, oh my God, it's like a fucking episode of Rosemary's Baby, okay, back in the 70s. You know, when those creepy, those creepy fuckers were all around her, and then you find out later out in life that Aleister Crowley, and if you've read up on that fucking just detestable fucking human being, example of a human being that could possibly go wrong, that would be the man. And when you see that he had an active influence in being a resource to the directors, oh fuck, holy fuck, no wonder it feels like an episode of Rosemary's Baby, huh? I tell you, and it's like when you begin to realize that these are the elements that are so interwoven into American society. And hey, look at the fucking Washington, D.C., the District of Columbia, okay? Look at that and look at where the monuments are, how they're phased out. Look at the city structure. There's like only one street that hasn't been finished or gone through or modified to create the whole pentagram outlook, if you look at it, which is creepy as fuck. And somebody else will say, oh, that's not that fucking symbol, it's a different symbol. You know what? I don't give a fuck. The fact that it's symbols, okay, is disturbing enough to me, and that they're Freemasonic symbols. That's even more alarming to me. Especially when you know, or you've read, or you've looked into the whole Illuminati understanding. And to realize that Luciferians, people that believe in that, I don't happen to believe in that, but they do, okay? And they act and they behave in those ways, and therefore their actions do affect me in one way or another. And if they're in powerful positions of decision-making abilities, and those organizations are interwoven, almost indistinguishable from government itself, well then, you have huge elements of that within those particular seats of power. In addition to that, they are the ones that allow other individuals into seats of power that they approve of for as long as that agenda serves their purposes, even if they're not part of them. If that agenda that that particular individual is pursuing and its conclusion benefits their agenda, well then of course then they're going to put those people in and allow those people to be there. And it doesn't matter whether it's like fucking free labor. Fuck, you don't have to pay them, you don't have to work with them, you don't have to, just let them fucking go do their thing. Hey, they're gonna, whatever, the end of their goal is gonna melt right with yours, so hey, fucking good on you. These are the realities of this world that we live in 2017, and most people are totally oblivious because they're all on the hamster wheel. And they're working they're working 60 hours a week for a 40-hour work week. And they're getting paid for 40, but they're working 60, okay? Got to get ready, they got to get home, they got to unwind, they got to get ready, all kinds of shit has to take place for them to be available for 40 hours a week. Yep, your Johnny on the spot slave will be right there, sir. I'll be right there. See? That whole fucked up weird mentality. So, I don't know. And when you couple that with the Luciferianism and how, in some realms of understanding they want to illuminate themselves because they believe that they are God because they are the ones that have the illuminated knowledge of the mystery of the ages. Oh, fuck. Okay, look, I don't want to know jack shit unless God Almighty, the Creator of the Most High, is like guarding that knowledge and all in and through and around that knowledge, or I don't fucking want to know it, okay? I'd rather not know it, personally. I'm like, I don't want to fucking know unless I need to know, and if I need to know, then that knowledge itself doesn't derive in and of myself, but I believe that's part of that divine spark that created all life. Not that I am the epitome of all life. Nope, fuck that. What a disgraceful thought that is, quite honestly, especially when you think about it for a couple seconds. But anyway, so when you see that you have all of these elements that are stacked up against you, and it's real, it's not imaginary, do the homework, do the research, check it out, look through it, and go, man, that is fucked. And now you're seeing the government is more and more and more intrusive, so you have to be more and more and more on guard, and you have to find some way to keep them at bay. And at the last, at your last resort, is the Second Amendment, the protected, supposed protected amendment of the right to bear arms against any oppressor. It doesn't matter whether it comes from the inside or the outside. Military veterans accept that and understand that. A lot of military personnel have been fucking, their good faith and their goodwill has been used to do some shitty things that those fucking people never fucking signed on board for. But those fucking low-life motherfuckers in places and seats of power knew. And they didn't give a fuck about anyone else but themselves, and they kept it rolling. We're not just talking, we're talking extremes here. And then they pretend to play it off and nothing ever gets solved. Fuck that. Or their military court of, you know what? After Abu Ghraib, there's nothing the army or the military can tell me about anything, because you're fucking murderers, okay? That's what your leadership is, and that's your psychology, and that's your fucking mindset. That's not what I signed up to become. I didn't sign up for that. But what you people did to those people in Abu Ghraib, and you knew all the way up to the top. All the way up. You all fucking knew. You didn't give a fuck. So, I don't have any respect for any institution that fucking coddles ideas like that or makes that permissible and acceptable and doesn't fucking seek to fix something like that. And I mean correct it all the way through. I don't mean half-ass the job either. So, you have some very sick, warped fucking individuals, and that's why you need to be able to protect and defend yourself. You need to be an expert. You need to be good at violence to be able to do that, because they're okay with violence as long as they've got the monopoly on it, okay? And that they can execute it at you at any time, at any point, at their discretion. And, it's at their discretion that's fucking really scary, because if you don't believe me, go online and you look at all the police shootings of individuals that have their hands up and everything else, and that's at their discretion. That's what at their discretion gets you. Gets you dead in a fucking 6 foot by fucking 12 foot hole. Or a 6 by 6, I think. I don't know how deep they are. You know what? It gets you a never-ending foxhole is what it gets you. Okay? It gets you a foxhole you don't get to crawl out of is what it gets you. That's their discretion. Look around and look at how they rationalize and justify their discretion. Okay? So they have absolutely no accountability. None whatsoever, but your dick is in the fucking ringer for the slightest anything. Okay? So then it doesn't matter how egregious they do anything, it's never their fault. It's always something else. That's the hallmark of a psychopath. I don't know what kind of term can I come up with that for an entire society. A genopath. Genopath, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that'll work. Okay. So, I don't know. Go look at those videos and watch how they set dogs on a motherfucker and then beat the fuck out of him and tell him to stop resisting. I got news for the police. Passive resistance is not resistance. So if I do nothing and I refuse to do anything and I don't touch anything and I stay immobile, that's passive resistance. And that is not against the law. And you cannot say that somebody is resisting. So, passive resistance is the key. Fuck them. God, I hate those motherfuckers. Just watch those videos. Keep watching them. You'll see what I'm talking about. If you're not pissed off, something's fucked up with you.